In this video, we'll show you as a contractor how you can go ahead and accept a work request that you've been hired for and all the steps that go with that. Not a very long process, actually very, very simple. First off, we'll start by going to automateamerica.com. As you see here in the address bar, it's how we always start. If you go over here to log in, you want to go ahead and log into your own account. So make sure that you have your login credentials available. Just type in the email address there and the password. And that will take you to your profile. And obviously your profile looks the way it should. And what you need to do is once you know that you are going to be hired on for a job, you can actually go to your dashboard. So just click on the dashboard there. And you see here that you now have, this is your dashboard where you can see anytime you're working, any of your pending applications. You can always check this to see what you might have in line. If you've applied for something, it'll show up here. Any recommended work that you might have, any completed work you've done, any declined applications that you may have, scheduled work or ongoing work. So you see here you do have an offer from business. It's lighting up green here saying it's up to you to accept or reject. So go ahead and we'll click on this right here where it says offers from businesses. And you see here that this is the robot programmer position that you applied for earlier. And you see here what your net expense terms are, what your net rate term is, what your net pay term is for your hourly rate, when the job starts, when it ends, and when you applied. So if you are, you can reject it if you'd like. If it's something you're not interested in, you can certainly do that. But let's go ahead for the sake of this video. You're going to go ahead and accept the offer. So you're going to go ahead and click the button that says accept offer. Now here you have the opportunity to go and change your payment terms. Now initially when you applied, if you remember, you have the ability to set the payment terms that you're interested in. We talked pretty extensively about what those payment terms mean and how that works out. So for here, this gives you one last opportunity to go ahead and decide if this is the payment terms you want. Remember, payments are based on net 15, 30, 45, 60, and 90, and it determines when you receive payment after you raise an invoice. So obviously if you want to get paid sooner, it's net 15. If you don't mind taking a little bit more time out to get paid, you get a little bit more because we're not basically advancing you any of that expense or pay rate. You can certainly choose that now. So and it'll reflect whenever you get to your standard service agreement. We'll show you that later. So let's just go ahead and keep it the way it is. But again, you can change it at any time. You can change it for both your hourly payment terms and for your expenses. But we'll go ahead and keep net 15 for the pay, and we'll keep expenses at net 30. You can see here what you'll receive. You can see kind of the wording in terms of advancing expenses to you. But the community has to borrow money to do so, so you kind of get an idea. But let's just say you're okay with this. You're going to go ahead and click this button here that says Save and Confirm. And then what this does is this brings up the supplier service agreement. And what this is basically it's the agreement that you have for the work that you're going to be doing. You can see it pulls in all the basic information from the work request. It shows you the key information as far as start and end date, how many people are needed. It shows you the programming skills that are required, any skilled trades, any drug tests that are required. And it also shows what your payment terms are and what you'll be making. So this is one last way to look and see what you're going to be getting and how you're going to be getting it. So you see payment terms are at net 15. Here's what you can expect to receive for both the base, overtime, double time, as well as travel time, as well as your expense payment terms, which we chose as net 30. And you can see exactly what you'll be getting reimbursed for. 3 of those based on receipts. Per diem is not. And then read through the service supplier agreement. It's standard language in terms of what your terms of payment are, what your payment is, the term of the SSA, confidentiality of payment, expenses, how that works, independent contractor status, so on and so forth. Feel free to read through this at your leisure. You have the ability to print this if you'd like. You'll also get an email once you have accepted the SSA that will also provide you a link back to the SSA if you decide not to print it now. You can look at it at a later time. So for here, you've gone through all this and you see that all this is good. It works for you. You've looked through all the language. You're okay with the pay rate. You're okay with the expense rate. And you're okay with the job. So let's go ahead and click here to accept the SSA. You see that button down here. You can print it. You can go back, and then you can accept it. So we'll go ahead and click to accept. And then it'll tell you that now it has moved from offers, pending applications. It now moves to ongoing work, timesheets, and expenses. So now you have accepted the job, and now you're ready to go and get to work. So it's just that simple. It doesn't take any time at all. If you have any questions about this or anything else, feel free to drop us an email at info@automateamerica.com.